Why do the rich get richer and the poor keep getting poorer? Why all these income gaps, specifically gender income gaps? Why do we have less CEOs who are female? Why do we have more women in poverty at all age? Why? When we listen to the famous financial guru, Robert Kiyosaki, we hear the word leverage. He says, leverage is the reason some people become rich and others don't. And many people say the very same thing. And they, of course, they are talking about leverage from the point of view of finance, the point of view of debt. But I expanded this idea to what else is the thing that they could be leveraging, and where does leverage come from? Because I perceive that there is something a bit deeper than just the material. So I went to the past and found Archimedes. Archimedes says, give me a place to stand and a lever long enough and I will move the world. Can you imagine moving the world? Wow. And some of the versions of this quote say, give me a place outside of this world so that I can, and a lever, so that I can move the world. As I find that very interesting because it creates distance. So what could be a lever? So some answers are hard work. And then I think of all the hardworking women in the world. And this one, you know, quite a Western looking woman. Maybe she's very financially successful. But think about my fellow women in Latin America working so hard, or my fellow Latinas in the US, or, you know, African women working so hard, several jobs, or, you know, even companies, but they are not really making a dent on their results. All this hard work is not really making it. Some of them get into education. They start learning internet marketing and funnels and launches and everything. And I have seen them. It is just really heartbreaking to me that they get all the knowledge of how to do it. Still, they are not selling. Some of them, they say, well, besides hard work and tactical knowledge, I'm going to do affirmations. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to solidify my self-belief, and I will have the results. And honestly, I still don't see the results. And let me tell you, I have been there. In all of them, I have been one of them. So researching the subject of leverage, I found another source, and it's a professor, a lady professor. Sadly, she passed away in 2001. I wish I could have interviewed her. It's an amazing work that you can find on her. And one of the things that she created is this framework on the 12 points that you can put effort to move a system. So this means, what are the 12 things that you can do to have impact on an organization, institution, research center, project, so that a system. So it's quite complex. So it has many, it has 12 elements, but she categorized these elements in 3. And you can see in the bottom left, you see here what she says. This is the things that are easy to implement, that are very operational. Fine-tuning operations, how we can change this software into this other software, how we can change the kind of the form that we use, how we can change that process very specifically. This for me is very similar to hard work. If you see the impact that this will have in the system is quite negligible. Then in the middle, you go into something a little bit more powerful, which is the rules and the structure of the organization. This is everything that it used to be in my work when I work in corporate and when I was an auditor. So you do control, you create all these processes, you create all this order, and you have this impact. And then all the way to the right is two things that are very powerful: the why of the organization and you yourself as a leader. I found that fascinating. This is her work. So inspired by this, I decided to do somehow my own version of this. So I say basically the same. We have a system, and in this case, we're going to be thinking about your business. We have the point, and the point is your values or what you stand for. And this is how you're going to impact your business. Let's put it this way. These are your business results. This is your business. And then how are you going to move this lever to impact the world? The first thing that you can do is take action. Of course, that's what you do. And you do and take action, and you do what you can do, and you do it completely wrong. And you have some impact. Maybe you can sell something, or maybe you can say absolutely nothing. Tell me, that definitely happened to me, that I did something and that not necessarily translated into money. Then I educated myself, and I went into some knowledge of marketing, internet marketing, and then I started to have some results, little results really. But I did, because I was in the world of action and knowledge. However, action and knowledge is just totally material. And when you work in the world of just the material, you have little impact in reality. You have to go higher in the hierarchy of impact. And this is where you go to the world of emotions and beliefs. When you start thinking about your feelings and how you perceive reality, then you have more leverage. So when I start moving from action and knowledge into beliefs and emotions, when I started to meditate, when I started to use my affirmations, things started to change. And then when you move higher into the level of your life purpose, and you can say life or you can say purpose. This is the big why. This is what Simon Sinek talks about, your why. Then your business has more, or when you work in your life purpose, everything moves more harmoniously. You have way more power. But I have discovered, I have the insight that there is something more powerful than everything that I have mentioned so far. And this is not just to stay in your life purpose, but to go higher and think about who you think you are. So let's think about the richest man in the world. When I see these two photos, I get so inspired. I think you know him. He's Jeff Bezos. He is the founder of Amazon. He's the richest man in the world in 2021. On the left-hand side, you see the young Jeff Bezos. The guy who started his business in a garage, who was packing the boxes himself, who was selling books, who had a dream, and he was in the stage of the dreamer. But day in, day out, for all these years, what he did was really concentrating in his identity, not in his actions, but in who he thought he was. So a good, inner talk that he could have is, I'm an innovator. I'm an innovator and I am going to create something amazing. I am creating something amazing. I am this innovator. And look at him now. I find fascinating the difference. Obviously, he's an older man, but you could even say that he's even a more attractive man, a magnetic man. As he believes that his identity is success, he becomes more and more successful. It's really fascinating how the inner talk of somebody can be clearly seen in a photo. You can even see the inner dialogue of who he thinks he is in the left-hand side. You could even think, oh, I'm a nice guy, what this photo is telling you. And in the right-hand side, I'm the boss. Very different messages, very different identity that this man has. So what about you? So I went and thought about my story. This is an old photo. This is 2018. And at this time, I didn't even realize that I was depressed. I was working so hard. You cannot imagine how hard I was working. And I will do everything for a project. I knew how you could do a project launch, a product launch. So I will do 80, 99%, but then at the end, I will get the stomach ache, I will sleep, I will not send the email, not make the phone call. And everything was because of who I thought I was. When I will see a successful person, I will think, I'm not like her. I'm not one of them. That just happens to them. I couldn't grow my list because I was not part of them. Just the successful people can do it. And I saw, for all the time that I kept this identity, I saw other people, other women growing their businesses and me remaining small because I did not believe that I had the identity, that I was the person to be able to do that. I was absolutely not owning who I was. I was in the world of poor me. I was in the world of mini me. Even if I had the knowledge, I can tell you at this time, I did my MBA. I graduated in 1999. This is 2018. I had several years in business. I had followed very important coaches, their courses. I knew how to do it. And I was not doing the work. I was not answering the phone call. I was not answering the email. I was not going the promotion all the way to the end. What was the thing that turned around everything was this work on identity. An identity is that you really believe who you are and you're writing the story of that. I was writing the story of the poor little me, of the victim, of the survivor. I had a really challenging childhood. And the program that I was running then in that photo was, poor little me, I am the survivor. The program that I'm running right now has nothing to do with that. I think what happened to me was preparing me to where I am right now. What happened to me is preparing me to what will happen in the future. I am the woman who is going to wake up those women to believe in the magnificence of themselves. Was amazing. As I started working on this, my whole reality started changing. Bloom. I started hearing from my customers, thank you for creating this product. Thank you for creating this template. Thank you for creating this workshop instead of I cannot afford you. I started to see traffic in my website without SEO optimization, without Facebook ads. And in fact, Facebook ads, that's fascinating. I run Facebook ads when I didn't believe in myself and I did not have any traction. With the very same budget, with Facebook ads, I got more traffic. Why? Because the copy was very different. It was not coming from I'm the victim, please buy from me. It was coming from, I have something to give you because I love you. Completely different coming from. When you're coming from neediness and poor little me, even if you follow all the processes, all the tactics, and you do all the meditation and all the positive thinking, things don't move. And if they move way slower than when you work at the identity level. Now, how do you do that? It is very hard, particularly when we're talking about women, because we have been programmed to live that story of the poor little me. And it's repeated constantly by the media and by other fellow, well, humans, other women, other men, who tell us, poor little you, oh, poor women, there are not that many represented in this area and this area, oh, poor women. And then we get into the poor women and we either fight to be the strong one, and then we get into hard work and burn it, or we really get into the poor me and save me, oh, I cannot do it. And both are highly inefficient and counterproductive. So, are you curious, interested in going further and deeper on this? I am delighted. If you are a female business owner who feels in that place where I used to be, having all the knowledge for sabotaging yourself just in the last minute, join me. I created a workshop specifically for this kind of challenge so that you make this upgrade in who you think you are. Because this is the piece that is going to really move the needle in your business. And imagine what will happen when you become more successful. When you become more successful, not only your business is going to be more successful, everybody will benefit. Customers, suppliers, and for me, most importantly, you will become a role model for all the girls that will follow. So join us. In my website, blancavergara.com/upgrade your identity, you can register and I send you all access. I will be delighted to see you, to have you with us. Have a wonderful day.